Let's talk about the world of accounting. For a long, long time, it's been this really stable, kind of predictable profession. Well, not anymore. Right now, it's basically a pressure cooker. And all of that pressure, it's actually creating a massive opportunity for a whole new kind of business service. Today, we're going to break down exactly what that pressure is and explore the incredible innovation that it's fueling. Okay, so look at this number, 44%. Now, this isn't just some random statistic. This is the single obsession for nearly half of all accounting and tax firms out there. It's their number one, top of the list priority for 2025. It beats out everything else. So, what is it? And there it is, that 44%, it's all about one thing: becoming more efficient by using technology. See, this isn't about scrambling to find more clients. It's about completely rewiring the way they work from the ground up. And according to the big 2025 State of Tax Professionals report from Thomson Reuters, this isn't really a choice. It's a direct response to a perfect storm of challenges that are hitting them all at once. So to really get why technology has become so critical, we've got to look at the pressures that are defining this 2025 landscape. Let's dive in and break down what exactly is putting this entire profession in a vice grip. You know, this chart tells such a fascinating story. Of course, efficiency and tech are number one, but look at growth coming in at 30%. That's a huge leap all the way from 5th place last year. And here's the thing, these aren't separate goals. Firms realize they need to grow to be able to afford the new tech, and they need that tech to attract and hold on to the best talent, which, you see, is their third biggest priority. It's all connected, like a strategic triangle. And this is what the report actually calls a three-front battle. You've got growth, technology, and talent. They're not just isolated problems you can solve one by one. They're all deeply interconnected, and each one makes the others harder to solve. And check this out. When leaders were asked what literally keeps them awake at night, one answer just dwarfed everything else: hiring and retaining talent, at 26%. I mean, think about that. It's a bigger worry than constantly changing tax laws or even figuring out AI. The people problem is the crisis. And here it is, in their own words, straight from the report. This isn't just data on a chart. It's a huge signal of the human resource pressure just crushing the industry. You've got fewer graduates coming into the profession and way more veterans retiring, and that's opening up this massive, scary knowledge gap. So, if you can't find enough qualified people, what do? Well, you have to turn to technology. And that brings us to what's being called the automation imperative. This is no longer some nice-to-have luxury. For a lot of these firms, it is quite literally a matter of sink or swim. But, okay, here is the ultimate catch-22. The biggest barrier to getting automation is a lack of time and resources. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. They need to automate to save time, but they don't have the time to actually implement the automation. And right behind that is the cost. It's the classic chicken and egg problem, and they're stuck right in the middle of it. Now, while all of these firms are grappling with these internal pressures, there's another threat growing on the outside. This number, 13.59%. That's the average amount of revenue that small firms are terrified they're going to lose to do-it-yourself online filing solutions. They're just getting squeezed from every single direction. So this is really the crucial point, right? We have a market where the traditional professionals are completely and totally overwhelmed. And at the exact same time, you have entrepreneurs and small business owners who are actively looking for easier, more modern, tech-forward options. It just begs the question, where is the middle ground? Well, the answer to that question, it turns out, is innovation. The whole pressure cooker environment we've been talking about is creating this really clear gap in the market. And a new way of specialized, tech-driven services is rising up to fill it. Services designed from the ground up for the modern entrepreneur. And these are what we call business formation services. Now, these are not your dad's accounting firm. They're tech-enabled platforms that are laser-focused on one thing, helping you nail the critical first steps of your business journey. Things like properly setting up your LLC or corporation, and then helping you manage all the necessary compliance that comes after. So what does one of these services actually look like in practice? Let's make this really concrete and take a look at a prime example of a modern business formation service called Filing Fox. So what does a service like Filing Fox actually do for you? Well, they handle all that foundational paperwork that can so often trip up new founders. We're talking about forming your legal business entity, acting as your official registered agent, the person who receives legal documents, and helping you manage all those ongoing compliance filings. But what's really crucial here is that by getting this formal structure right from day one, they open the doors for you to access the essential platforms you need to actually operate, like Amazon, Stripe, and PayPal. Okay, so this immediately brings up what is probably the most important question of all. When you're dealing with the legal and financial foundation of your business online, trusting the service you're using, well, it's absolutely non-negotiable. Let's just be direct about this, because it's the question that's on everyone's mind. With so many of these new platforms popping up, how can you really be sure that a service is secure, that it's legitimate, before you hand over all of your sensitive personal and business information? Security has to be the absolute bedrock. I mean, think about it. When you're establishing a company, you are creating a legal and financial entity. The data involved in that process is incredibly sensitive, and it just has to be protected with the highest possible standards. So how does a service like Filing Fox stack up? Well, a third-party security analysis by a firm called Grid&Soft gave the platform a score of 80 out of 100. And according to their analysis, that is a very strong signal of a safe and trustworthy website. And that high trust score isn't just some arbitrary number either. It's actually built on really concrete factors from the security report. For one, the domain is over 5 years old, which signals it's an established presence. It uses Cloudflare as its registrar, a company that's famous for security, and it relies on well-known, secure payment systems. These are all the key signals you want to see from a legitimate online service. So, let's just tie all of this together. The big takeaway here is that the immense pressure and the serious talent shortage inside the traditional accounting world are creating a really clear gap in the market. And into that gap are flowing these specialized, tech-driven solutions that cater directly to entrepreneurs, people who just need to get their businesses started efficiently, correctly, and affordably. And that really leaves us with one final and, I think, provocative question, especially for anyone out there who's thinking about their next big venture. As these automated and specialized services increasingly handle all the complex but necessary paperwork of starting a business, it frees you, the founder, from that huge burden. So the real question becomes, where are you going to invest your single most valuable resource, your time?